guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Sandy McGlothlin. This video was requested underneath my previous video where I talked about the colleges I applied to and got into. And so I'm just gonna go through my Common App essay as well as the essay that I sent to UW, because it ended up being a different one, and the short response that I sent to UW as well. And then at the end of the video, if you guys stay tuned, I have a few tips and do's and don'ts on what to do for college essays, because I like to put my 2 cents into things, okay? Maybe, I don't know. If you find it helpful, let me know in a year from now when other people apply to college and they're like, wow, it helped, or like, wow, it didn't, and I didn't get in anywhere. If that's the case, it was not my fault. I'm not professional whatsoever, and I don't get paid to do this. I just do it for fun. Okay, let's get into the Common App essay. So to start off, the prompt that I chose for the Common App was, some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, then please share your story. So here's my story. I'm gonna try to do this in the best narrated voice that I can, but I'm not even sick right now. I just have a raspy voice for some reason. Creating is a habit of mine. Ever since I was 9 years old, I remember creating out of pure enjoyment. YouTube videos, short stories, charm bracelets, you name it, I wanted to make it. And while I was like most girls at this time, I differed from them in one specific way. As I recall correctly, not only would I create things, but I would also create businesses. Yet, this habit of creating businesses went much further than a childhood game of store. Rather, in the 4th grade, I held a monopoly on the duct tape wallet industry at Pioneer Elementary School out of the back of my binder. As if it were the black market, when my teacher wasn't looking, kids from all across the classroom would come and look at my swatches in awe and pick out their colors for me to design their wallets out of. The next day, I would return and in hand a beautifully crafted piece, all for the price of $10. However, this was only the beginning. The following year, I realized the duct tape trend had died down and it was time to adapt, as great businesses do. But I knew I couldn't do it alone. This was when I gathered capital, as well as a business partner, and together we formed S&D Charm Shop, where we sold customizable charm bracelets. How many girls in the 5th grade have business partners? I can tell you, not very many. Sadly, as some partnerships do, ours grew sour. I had a vision for something greater, and she rather play with dolls. With this, I was left to my own devices yet again. It wasn't until high school that I really got back on my feet into the business realm, and this time, it was serious. Not to say that my other endeavors weren't, but comparing the work of a junior in high school to that of a 5th grader doesn't always reach equal grounds. This business that I've created has been my best work yet. Davis Corsage came from my own desires. It was never something that I was encouraged to do, nor given the idea to do. It was, and is, entirely, independently, my own. Which is why I'm so proud of it. Even with parents who are entrepreneurs themselves, they never pushed me down the path towards business at all. In fact, for the better half of my life, I wanted to be a doctor, until I took chemistry honors and found it to be difficult. But, thankfully, that academic hardship showed me that this whole time I was born to be an entrepreneur. That, creating, organizing, and working hard are things that I value in life and make me who I am today. Davis Corsage showed me and my local community that I understand what it takes to start and run a business. That investing my time, energy, and money can return a huge profit. Parentheses. I made $2,000 in profit that first year. Close parentheses. But it wasn't just the profit, it was the satisfactory feeling I got at the end of the day, knowing that I had a successful business plan, marketing strategy, and most importantly, that the little girl who loved to create things was still within me. So that was my essay. I had a lot of errors in it, now looking back on it. No one ever read my essay or looked over it for me. I kind of just wrote it once, read it over myself, took out some words so that it would fit the word limit, and that was about it. For what it was, looking back on it, I think it's fine. I tried to have a hook. All in all, I don't know. I mean, you guys can leave your opinions in the comments on that one. That was what I sent to every college, so I mean, hey, it was 9 for 13 at least, so. Okay, so this next essay is what I sent to the University of Washington. I didn't realize that I could just send the same essay, but who knows, maybe this is the difference between me getting in and me, not getting in. Who knows? But anyways, I'm gonna read the personal statement, and then I'll read the short response after. When I was 9 months old, my entire family was over our house. Aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents for Thanksgiving. As the story goes, everyone was having a great time. The scent of pumpkin pie and carved turkey filled the air, but while everyone was having a blast, little me got tired and decided it was time for bed. So, I grabbed my bottle, and with no one watching, I crawled up the stairs, into bed, and off to sleep I went. That's when the whole house went into a frenzy to find me. Pops wandered through the garage and out the side gate. She didn't go out the doggy door. My mother explored the underside of the stairs behind the 6-foot-tall Santa Claus. Well, she didn't get mixed up with the Christmas decorations. All the while, I was cuddling my bottle of lukewarm milk upstairs. No one expected to find me there, but eventually they did, and Thanksgiving came to a close. When I was in 2nd grade, I taught myself how to ride a bike. I wanted to learn for so long, but no one was willing to show me when I asked. So, I was left to wipe my wounds and pick myself up when I fell. And I did fall. My parents were only there to take off the training wheels. For the vast majority of my life, that's how it's felt. I taught myself how to do a lot of things that parents traditionally would teach their kids how to do. I taught myself how to swim, which probably explains my fear of drowning. I taught myself to not procrastinate. My family loves to procrastinate. And I taught myself what it means to be independent. Growing up as the youngest sibling, most people would expect me to be babied rather than my older brother, but this wasn't the case. Yet, even at a young age, it was as if I didn't even need my parents' help. I was ready to go out and take on the world alone. In retrospect, it's sometimes difficult to look at challenges I've gone through on my own. However, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm grateful for my parents because they left me to explore on my own, without hindrance, to figure out who I am, even through trial and error. And while I've struggled to get good grades and fill out college apps on my own, I've also been able to start my own business, Davis Corsage, plan school-wide events, and speak publicly without fear because my independent spirit keeps me going. Growing up without my parents always there to catch me when I fall has been one of the hardest yet most rewarding things I could have ever been faced with. Because the way I see it, if put in a situation where you can either sink or swim, you might as well start swimming, even if you have to teach yourself. So that essay kind of just focused on highlighting my journey of independence, as you can call it. I don't have the prompt with me on here. If I did, I would let you guys know it, but I think it was something of how has your culture, background, anything shaped you? And basically, I had to grow up and teach myself how to ride a bike and how to swim, but it's fine. Okay, so that was my coalition UW essay. Great. And on the UW application, you have to also include a short response. And again, I don't have the prompt on here. I wish I did, but nonetheless, I'm going to go read through this. So, my Nana was an immigrant from the Philippines, and it wasn't an easy road to the States. She had to work hard in order to earn a living, and eventually she was able to bring her mother, siblings, and a few cousins over to the States as well. Throughout her life, she always had an entrepreneurial spirit. She would sell fresh katas, juices in Tagalog, on the street to local workers where she lived in the PI. When she moved to the States, she opened up her own catering business and eventually 3 daycare centers for elderly patients. This entrepreneurial and hardworking spirit is something that I believe I inherited. We were born on the same day, April 9th. We both have a love for flowers, which I learned after I started my business, Davis Corsage, and we're both very stubborn. Not in the sense that we won't collaborate, but in a way that when we feel like something needs to get done, we won't stop until it is. As I get older, and as she gets older, I look back fondly on the memories and have the joy of listening to her tell more stories. Every day she encourages me to go beyond what she was capable of doing and doesn't hesitate to remind me that I am the spitting image of what an Eliason woman stands for. Hard work, determination, and passion. I know I can bring my skills to further enhance UW's campus. The diverse community in UW would benefit from my perspectives, and I will benefit from the perspectives of others. I hope to further my education in such a beautiful and immense campus because what makes UW the right fit for me is the push to work hard, which is something I truly value. It was a little hard to read because my grandma recently passed away, so I had to just compose myself there real quick. So those are my essays. Think what you will about them. I have a few tips though for when it comes to writing your essays, a lot of what I wish I would have done, and also what I did do. Chances are, if you're applying to over 5 schools, one of those schools will have a question that is, why us? Why do you want to go here? And the best way to approach that question, if you don't already have a really strong answer for it, is to use information that you can get on their Instagram pages or their websites, all that kind of stuff. I know for Boston University, that's exactly what I did. I went on there and I found some professors, I found some buildings, all that related to the major that I wanted, and from there I was able to write an essay that basically was like, I want to go here because I want to be taught by this professor and take this class and learn about this. Most schools, if they're located in a big city, don't want to hear about why you want to go to the city. They want to know why you want to go to their school. For Boston, for example, there are so many schools in Boston, so do not try to write about Boston. You want to write about the school you want to go to. And so the best thing that you can do if you don't already have like some things in mind, go through their Instagram pages, look at where they send their students to, abroad programs that are unique to the campus. That's what you have to really focus on. What makes the campus unique and why would you want to go there? In other cases, if you're posed with just random supplemental questions, you can fudge a story. Not completely lie, obviously, but you have to find a way to make it entertaining. And like most movies that cover historical events, it's not always completely accurate. They get the gist of it and the truth, but they have to add a little bit more pizzazz to it to keep you watching. Same thing with a college essay. That's why it's really good if you can make a college admissions officer cry, laugh, or just feel anything other than I'm sitting here the whole day trying to read these essays. And my last tip is to be yourself. It's corny, I know. There's no other way to put it. There's no better way to put it. If there was, I would let you know. But essentially, don't try to be someone you're not. If you're not into using that flowery, fluffy language, don't try to. That is, unless you're trying to go for like an Ivy League or something like that, then all means that's on you. But that wasn't me. So my best advice is to just focus on being authentic, focus on using words that you would actually use. And honestly, it's like you're trying to have a conversation with someone. That's at least how I saw it. I tried to at least talk like I was having a conversation with someone in those essays. You have to portray your story in a way that is authentic to you. Don't try so hard to make it sound like something that you think they want to hear, because everyone else is going to sound the same if that was the case. They want to hear your own personal voice and get a sense of your personality. And so that's the main thing to focus on when you're writing these essays. And don't be like me. Make sure someone reads it over and that you don't have any errors before you send it off. I mean, granted, I think I did fine because I got into a lot of the schools I applied to, but it's always better to be safe than sorry, and you don't want to go back months later and realize you had like 20 grammatical errors. Okay, it wasn't like 20, it was like a couple missing ands and one awkward comma placement, but you know what I mean. Those things can be avoided, so just avoid them if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope you guys are staying safe. Have a great rest of your week, day, month, whenever you're watching this.